The year is 1968, and a pupil of Frank Lloyd Wright designed and created an amazing piece of architecture that a family has called home over the last 55 years. Now, for the first time in its history, that home is on the market again. So how do you market a home with such specific design of the 1960s? Well, you do that with a 60s look. So I'm going to show you how I did that, how I chose the music. But first of all, here's that video.
La belle époque, oh oh. La belle époque, oh oh. La belle époque, la belle époque. Pour me champagne, love me insane. Flowers and chocolate in a color that matches my bonnet. Oh no, it's not a test, only the best. Belle époque, oh oh. La belle époque, oh oh. La belle époque, la belle époque. Planes with my name and dinner at restaurant Le Maurice. Oh no, no, it's not a diss. I only drink fizzy fizz. Oh, oh, throw me a kiss. Belle époque, oh oh. Sweet belle époque, oh oh. La belle époque, oh oh. Belle époque. Picnics in the park, kisses in the dark. Oh, belle époque, ooh, belle époque, ooh, belle époque, oh oh, oh belle époque, oh oh, sweet belle époque.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Jared Hoyman, and we talk about photos, video, and tech on this channel. Today specifically, we are going to be talking about music choices and how I use that when it comes to editing. I use Epidemic Sound and have been for the last 6 years when it comes to my video editing, and I have found it easy to utilize, and I think you will too. So I'm going to go through my edit on the video that you just watched and show you how I decide to go for that look. Now, I will tell you, I don't usually do those kind of corny looking transitions. I just felt like it was much needed in a 1960s way. So let's get into it, and I will show you where I started. So right now we are inside of Epidemic Sound. So if you go to epidemicsound.com, it will bring you right into the site, and then you have a log on and everything. I have found this to be the best option for me when it comes to real estate photography and video, getting that music in the background. Yeah, you have all these choices and you can search. So you'll have a home page that it brings you to. You can go to browse. It's learned me for a while, so it gives me suggestions. So on this discover, it gave me, I like Christmas music. So it gave me some Christmas options right away here. Nah, it doesn't do it for me. It's kind of a cool beat. Maybe I'll use that around Christmas time. We'll see. So here you can kind of scrub through it too, which is nice. And you can also add it to your playlist. So you can create a playlist on here. And so over time, I've created a playlist of my, my favorites out there. Let's go to saved. So I have Christmas playlist. That's right. I have 2 tracks on there. Sound effects, I've kind of just started adding to that. YouTube video options, I put those in there. My favorites, and this is mostly YouTube stuff, but actually, this one is actually mostly real estate. So I like a lot of that 80s vibe. I think it sounds really good. For example, here we go. I have older sisters who are teenagers in the 80s, and I listened to the craziest music because they listened to the craziest music. So when I think back to Goonies and Karate Kid, that is my childhood. I loved that stuff. 90s, it was boring. But 80s music, 80s movies, those were fun. By the way, I watched Big again for the first time in many years the other day, bringing back my childhood memories. Now this one, it'll say instrumental because there is a version out there that does have singing to it. And typically I don't like to choose the singing because I think it takes away from marketing that real estate photography video. But obviously in the case of the video today that I showed you of the Frank Lloyd Wright home, that makes sense. It just gives that kind of vibe of the 1960s, and I tried it without the singing and it didn't sound the best. So it was best suited with the vocals. Again, here's another one that's instrumental only. If you were to play it. Again, 1980s. Listen to that intro. Yeah, sounds good. So you can go on Epidemic Sound and you don't have to create an account just to check out some of their music. But in order to download it, I believe you do have to create an account on there. And once you do create that account, you can start flagging all your social media. And depending on your licensing that you choose with Epidemic Sound, I chose to do the higher end listing because then all of my clients are covered when they post it on their social media. And it's about $300 a year. So let me show you how I browse and look for music when it comes to finding something that fits your project well. Now you can skip ahead and just go to genres. So with genres, you've got every single genre out there. Europop, oh my gosh, let's just hit it. Europop, what does that sound like? Randomly, I don't click on this, so let's see what it sounds like. Yeah. I don't know if I would use this in a video, but maybe like, you know, I feel like I'm gonna go to a nightclub with this music. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, let's listen to one more. Oh man, this is like 90s, early 90s. That's what it feels like. When you're on the dance floor, just, you know, doing your thing. Yeah, so that music exists. It's out there. Now, if you can't find a song that is just instrumental and it just has the vocals in it, let's see if this one has anything. Okay, so on the bottom right here is the full mix. And now I could do just bass. So that's what it would sound like if I just downloaded the bass. It's kind of cool. There's just the drum beat, instrumentals together without the beats, melody, and then there's the full mix right there. So not bad. And you can download individually, or you can download all of those different tracks at once, and then you can bring it inside of your project. All right, I did want to bring you in. If you go to search music, and I use this quite a bit, let's search for, let's see here. Let's just hit 1980s and see what pops up. So there's albums that were already created with that genre. So there's a 1980s pop. Let's just click on that. So this is a type of kind of album-ish category. Can you tell that I'm obsessed with the 80s? So the cool thing about Epidemic Sound is they're adding music daily, all the time. They are getting more music out here. And honestly, I could just spend hours and hours looking for music, playing music. but really I don't want to. When it comes to getting these projects done for my clients, I just need to find something that works well. And so I'm always doing quick searches here and there. So based on what I have saved here, they also give you suggested tracks, something you may be interested in. Looks like they're giving me a lot of retro type music. They know me so well. After you download the tracks, it comes into an MP3, or you have the option of downloading it into a WAV file as well. So you could choose MP3 or WAV. You can do the full mix. You can have a zip file of all the stems. So the stems are each little section. You know, one stem is going to be melody, instrument, bass, drums. So here's the timeline in DaVinci Resolve Studio that I did all the editing of this video in. Let's bring this down a little bit so you can see the WAV file. So this is the WAV file here. Negative 6.82. So I actually brought the dB down. The dB, or the audio level, is pretty darn high when it comes in. And so I end up bringing it down to match my videos. And you can change that just by bringing up the gain or bringing down the gain. So the music here, I didn't need to cut any of the music. I used the whole song. I never use the whole song ever. But in this case, I did. I felt like it worked out really well. So let me give you a little tip on how I like to edit my videos, and that is really looking for beats. And when you grab these WAV files or these MP3 audio files, you can see the waveform right here. And so you can see where the beats are going to be hitting, where these peaks are. And you kind of have to just listen to it. So spacebar will always kind of play it and then hit spacebar to pause. So I'm always listening. See, and here's a beat. See? Now, I'm usually a guy that likes to have hard cuts, kind of like this one's a hard cut, that one's a hard cut. Let's move over here. That's a hard cut. Now, I did decide to go a little bit non-traditional with my hard cuts and do these transitions that are something that you and I would have used like 10, 15 years ago, because we just discovered how to use video editing software. But it really does fit the style of this video. The zoom in works out really well. And that kind of split screen, I love it, where it kind of just separates it all. It gives me, what is that feeling? It gives me that Brady Bunch 60s, 70s feeling right there. And that's what those transitions were really for. I mean, the swiping, the raising, I just felt like that gave that, you know, kind of vibe there. When I'm in a room and I'm only changing the angle of the room, I really like to put in these kind of transitions, because then it keeps that person in that same space, just a different perspective. And that's how I like to tell the story. So that's how I did it here. And that was just an opposite end of that to show. That one, I mean, is just so, it's so corny. I love it. The one that just multiplies, you know, the image and then kind of shrinks it out. I just thought, you know what, you gotta own it. And when you're selling real estate and you're marketing real estate, you need to stand out. Now, a lot of people will tell you your videos need to be less than 30 seconds. They're wrong. Your videos need to get the attention within about 5 to 10 seconds, and you will get people to watch it for over 30 seconds. And that's what you're looking for when it comes to these real estate videos. So if a video is 2 minutes or longer, that is a little bit harder. In this case, this video warranted it, but I try to keep my videos under 2 minutes. If I can, about a minute, but obviously this one is about a 4,000 square foot home. And just to go back, the subscriptions that I have includes everything. It's $300 a year. I can publish it anywhere. I can monetize it up to 3 channels per platform. So YouTube, I can have 3 channels and utilize it. Instagram, 3, accounts on Instagram. Unlimited downloads, publish content for clients and businesses. So if my clients are publishing on their Facebook page or their YouTube channel or their website, they have full rights because I'm the one that produced it using that. And there's a way to flag those too. And unlimited use in digital ads. So you can have this all over digitally, which most people are marketing digitally anyways. Now, if you're going to be using this for television or movies, then there's going to be different licenses. But for you and me and the majority of the world, digital ads is really what we're going to be utilizing it for. And again, I'm going to have a link below in the description where you can click and do your free trial and play around with the software. Now, before I forget, I do want to mention that the camera I used was the Canon R6 Mark II when it came to video, and the lens was the 15-35 at 15 millimeters. Now, every video does require more of a specific feel for that type of home. And in this case, I couldn't resist. It had to be that 1960s vibe and that 60s music. Now, if you do not care for the vocals, you can edit out and only choose the instrumental ends of it, or just choose the vocals as well. This specific song that I used, I actually saved it in my library about a month or two ago, and I had no idea if I would ever use this song. I thought maybe I'll use it on the YouTube channel, but probably not professionally. It wasn't until I walked into this property where I thought, holy cow, I could definitely use this song now. It fits it and just works well. If you want to try out Epidemic Sound, you can do a free trial with the link below. And yes, I do get a little bit of credit when you click on that link. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you do choose to go with it, I will tell you it's totally worth it. I've had really good experience with Epidemic Sound. They are not sponsoring this video whatsoever, but I can highly recommend them from my experience using them professionally. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, and although the video is over, there's other videos that you can watch. So if you're new to this channel, you can binge me a little bit, or not. It's up to you. No pressure.